As he heads to the podium, as you can see, the bikes are already out for the next race here at Silverstone. It's the Motostar race, but while we wait for that race to get going, I've just seen Glenn Owen down here, so we'll grab a quick word with Glenn, who, of course, let's just turn you around to the sunshine a little bit so we can see your beautiful face, Glenn. It's so good to see you smiling after everything you've been through, first of all. Have you come down yet off the win?
Came down, but I haven't gone out of these leathers. They're covered in champagne. I'm sticky, but yeah, I'll need to go and get a quick wash here before we nip into hospitality for our food tonight. But it's trying to come down from my race, and then I'm watching my little brother, doing an unbelievable job out there. So it's been a great day for the Irwins. It should have been a 1-1. I think we all know that. But Keith's been good at making Andrew look like he's been the aggressive one this year, and I personally think that Andrew's cleaned his act up. He's done some hard moves, but he hasn't really deliberately punted anyone off the track. And I'm a friend of Keith's. We share a sponsor, Rapid International, and that's just my views on it. I think a tag stays with you, and Andrew unfortunately carries a tag that he's crazy. He really has cleaned up, and that was a move. It's like come on. And I got to give Andrew credit. I didn't think he would get back to the lead. Unfortunately, he lost the race through. He'll not mind me saying it because I'm going to tell him it was a stupid mistake. He went defensive and just broke a little bit too early, but that win will come. Whatever the outcome, whatever Stuart and his team do with this, it is what it is. We'll not fight, it's racing. I'm not going to fight with Keith over or the Appleyard team. Some words were said there, but it's emotion, do you know what I mean? Andrew shook his hand. They'll settle down. Me and James were supposed to this thing 2 years ago where I apologised on TV the next day. So it's racing. It was hard. It's probably unfair, but it's sport and it happens.
And it sets things up nicely for tomorrow as well, doesn't it?
I think I'm going to watch it. No, but it's always race 2 is always right before my second Superbike race. Like heart rate's about 190 for him even on the bike.
Yeah, probably best you don't want to watch that one. You go and have a rest, Glenn.
Cheers,
You've had a stressful day. Go and put your feet up. And meanwhile, we shall watch this one. It's our third and final race of this lovely sunny Saturday afternoon here at Silverstone. It's the Hell Performance British Motostar Championship race, which we can enjoy in the company of James Whittam and Jack Bernicle. Back to you, chaps.
The Hell Performance British Motostar Standard Championship race combined with the ADAC Northern Europe Cup. Joining us for the weekend. Max Cook, of course, is the runaway winner of the British Series ahead of Victor Rodriguez, Jack Scott, Thomas Strudwick in 4th place, just 3 points behind Scott, and ahead of Charlie Atkins and Londoner Cameron Horseman. In the ADAC Northern European Cup, incidentally, heading into its penultimate rounds here at Silverstone. With 4 wins and 2 podiums, Dirk Geiger of Germany leads the field with 145 points, followed by Philipp Freitag on 107 and Tony Earhart on 105. And following his overall win in 2016, Geiger is trying to defend his standard title. And but it's Strudwick, obviously, Thomas Strudwick is obviously full of beans after being put into the British Talent Cup. He was the fastest man on the club circuit here at Silverstone during the MotoGP weekend under the watchful eye of students of the sport like Jeremy McWilliams. And Strudwick has gone and put himself on pole position ahead of Leon Orgis and Dirk Geiger. And then Marvin Sidebrath in 4th place, Victor Rodriguez, always to be famous for his wonderful save around the Melbourne Loop at Donington's in 5th, and Philipp Freitag in 6th place. Freitag currently 2nd in the championship ahead of Tony Earhart. Luca de Vleeschauwer is in 7th place, Oliver Koenig in 8th place. Max Cook, absolutely dominant in this series so far, is down in 9th, unusual for him. Cameron Horseman, the former Fab Racing EE125 specialist, is in 10th place ahead of Jeffrey Buis and Jack Scott in 12th. All these lads, of course, on NSF Hondas, and it's a very packed field. Our biggest of the day. 31 riders are out on track, from Strudwick on pole position back to Aditya Bahal in 31st place on bike number 50. That's Aditya Singh Bahal from Maidenhead, would you believe? Entertaining name from Maidenhead, on the Microlice Cresswell Racing Honda. So an entertaining mix then of the Northern European Cup and the Hell Motostar British Championship standard class. Strudwick must have been boosted by his selection for the British Talent Cup. Bike number 2, see whether he can finally put one over Max Cook, who has been such a dominant figure in this championship so far. He's starting from way back in 9th place. The gentle rumble then of the 250cc 4-stroke single-cylinder Hondas is going to rise to a crescendo as they get off the line, and Cook gets a pretty good start as they head down towards the first turn, and all of them clamouring for position. Certainly with bikes of this size, you've got plenty of width to go through Cops Corner and plenty of run-off tarmac to use if you need it. And in beautiful evening sunshine, they go pouring off around this 3.6-mile circuit. Oops, a daisy, a bit of chopping and changing straight away. Oh, goodness. And clipping the curb there, the man who comes through at the front loses his outside foot peg. Was that Victor Rodriguez? He makes a habit of this. Yeah, he and Thomas Strudwick going from the same piece of tarmac. Geiger, the European Championship leader, in 3rd place. Orgis in 4th. De Vleeschauwer in 5th. And Max Cook has burst through already to 6th place. And number 1, Dirk Geiger, tried to make a move, but the man who emerges at the front is Thomas Strudwick. So Strudwick number 2 from Littlehampton, and on the case Moto Rapido Moto3 Honda NSF leads the way.
Yeah, Thomas Strudwick quickest in practice, followed by the 2 German riders that's been at the front of their championship. Good mix this action. It gives the Brits and the Europeans a really good kind of idea of where they are internationally, because a lot of these riders are looking at going international at some point.
And it's we only, like the lads who were racing last year, for example, as we see number 54 take a wayward line at Lucas Falk in Denmark. The fact is that Josh Owens and Spud Nesbitt didn't really know where they stood until they went off to Spain for this season, having been on such flying form here in the UK last year.
Exactly, yeah.
And
Victor Rodriguez.
Straight away, Victor Rodriguez then fighting it out with Tom Strudwick.
We like Victor Rodriguez.
We do.
Yeah.
We like the cut of his jib, as you would say, the GA competition rider from Spain.
And he doesn't look like a bike racer. He's got big glasses and he's really polite and really sort of decent youth from what I can... Well, he doesn't speak a lot of English, to be quite honest.
I'd like to say a huge thank you to Luca de Vleeschauwer, because that is a truly splendid number 9 he's got on the front of his. Talk about a legible number. It harks right back to 500 motorcycle Grand Prix of the 1980s, that number 9. Absolutely magnificent. That's what number plate should be like. Even in the gloom as they come down the main straight, you can see it standing out. Magnificent. So into the second lap of 8 then, with Rodriguez, Strudwick, Geiger, Orgis leading the way. And De Vleeschauwer's in there with Max Cook, Freitag, Cameron Horseman latched onto the back of that group. Yeah,
this is what you find with these relatively low-powered bikes. These have got about 45 or 46 brake horsepower. They weigh about 80 or 85 kilos. They've got a minimum weight with the rider and fuel and everything. They can't weigh less than 148. And that's to give everybody a fair chance, because when you can ride in a class from 13 upwards, 13 years of age upwards, you get some little kids in it who have a big advantage through not weighing anything, so you've got a minimum weight limit for you and the bike.
So presumably you have to stick a little lump of lead on somewhere to make the weight up.
Yep, some of these kids have to stick a fair bit of lead. The beauty of that is you can put it where you want. You want it fairly low down. If you get it high up, well, then you get a lot too much weight transference and the weight moving around as you brake or accelerate. But yeah, it is a slight advantage being able to put the weight where you need it, or where you want it.
Victor Rodriguez having a nice little tussle at the front with number 4, Leon Orgis from Germany on the Kiefer Racing Honda.
Is it Kiefer or Kiefer? Yeah, I thought Kiefer, but only because I heard them talking when in the...
Goodness me, and that was a clash between Thomas Strudwick, and I don't think that number 4, August, knew that Strudwick was there. And as he went to peel into Stowe Corner, they just bounced off each other.
Yeah, I think in that case you're right, but I tell you, I've been watching, I've been out on track, and they've been getting a bit fruity with each other, these kids, honestly.
Oh, and a big mistake there by Rodriguez, going way out wide, and that allows Strudwick through, and right behind him, number 1, Geiger. And it is, what's this?
Yeah, well, that was actually Strudwick turning across the front end of August, and that. Yeah, Strudwick more to blame in that instance for me.
Oh dear.
I think this is exactly what you see with this. I'm
This
talking
is
about
great.
relatively low-powered bikes, especially on a fast-flowing circuit like Silverstone. You get these groups of people locked together because of the slipstream. You can lose a bit through any part of the circuit and then gain it back through the slipstream on the straight. So this is brilliant.
So Littlehampton's Tom Strudwick leading the way once again on the Case Moto Rapido Moto3 bike number 2. Behind him is Geiger. Oh, here comes number 9, Vleeschauwer, making his way through. I've probably got 17 different ways of
Well, I'm
pronouncing
going to say every
his name.
time you pronounce it, it's been different. You've got to get it right.
Well, you have a go.
No, thank you.
I still like his number 9. I think it's brilliant. It was. I'm trying to remember who used to ride that number 9 in 500 Grand Prix in the 80s.
Well, let's call him Luca, number 9, because I'm fairly certain he'd have been named after Luca Cadalora.
I think you're right.
I don't think that'll be a common Dutch name.
So we'll call him Luca. Yeah. So Luca's there now running. And look at Max Cook. Max Cook has crept through. Bike number 30. Max Cook from Swindon on the Wilson Racing bike has just been sneaking through. He was 7th. Now he's through to 3rd.
Yeah, good little rider this. He's been picked for the British Talent Cup. Like you said, the trials were right here on the Stowe circuit. The Stowe circuit's tiny, it's within the footprint of the main circuit. Tiny, very twisty. That's where they had them going round. There's a group of people looking at them and deciding and choosing. It wasn't just down to lap times. But yeah,
they had to reduce 90 to 22, didn't they?
Yeah, they did, and they were fairly brutal in doing that, apparently, chatting with Max Cook.
Well, I would imagine Jerry McWilliams would be nothing if not brutal on making his decisions. Max Cook there on the white bike has just been sucked back in. He just makes sure he gets his line there, but losing ground a little bit as he drops back to 4th place, having made it through to 3rd and was looking like he was in touch with the leaders. But the leader, Thomas Strudwick, well, you've got to say that Strudwick has really stretched things out. It's as if he's kind of lit the blue touch paper, having got himself selected for the British Talent Cup.
Yeah, we first saw Thomas Strudwick in the KTM Challenge and did really well at that, ran at the front of that. Is it second, just been taken now by a recovering Victor Rodriguez. Actually, Victor does make a few mistakes. I've seen that before. He does tend to... honestly.
Well, it's one of the reasons we like the little fella.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
But you're right, he does look a lot more studious than that, doesn't he? As if he would have a more mathematical approach to his racing. And here's a move being made by Luca, number 9. He gets inside number 19, Rodriguez, moves back into 2nd place. So Strudwick and Vleeschauwer. So it's, at the moment, it's the British Championship leading the Northern European Cup. 3rd place for British Championship rider. 4th place for the European Cup, 5th place for the British Championship leader, 6th place for European Cup, 7th place for the Championship leader of the European Cup. Freitag, though, sets the fastest time.
Yeah,
2 minutes 25.8.
Just in the 2nd group is Freitag now, and the only chance you've got of getting away, and I'm talking about Strudwick now, is if everybody else behind you starts to beat each other up, take each other's lines, and you can just sneak away. But other than that, the slipstream look just zooms you back together.
The fastest lap so far, Freitag, 2:25.8. That was a respectable lap for the superbikes in those changeable conditions during the first half of their race earlier this afternoon.
Yeah, in actual fact, if you compare just dry track times between the classes, this is the track with the biggest difference, big bikes and small bikes, just because it's so fast.
We're on the 4th lap of 8 there. Then in the Hell Performance British Motostar Standard Class in the ADAC Northern European Cup. The ADAC, of course, is the famous German, the Association of Deutschland Motorcycling Federation, the equivalent of our ACU. And the front 3 have really broken clear here, and Max Cook hasn't gone with them, so he's looking unlikely to be a podium finisher in this one, because he's, as we watch Rodriguez tip in there ahead of Luca. Settle for Luca, so suddenly we've got the British Championship 1-2 again.
Yeah, really important with these low-powered bikes to be accurate. You've got to get your line right, hit your points, not make any mistakes, not miss a gear, carry the speed through the corner, get tucked in. There's a lot more to this than what you think. The low-powered bikes, but that doesn't make it any easier. In fact, it actually makes it more difficult. You've got to think about what you're doing a little bit more.
Rodriguez moves back into the lead.
Yeah. When he gets his head down and doesn't make mistakes, Rodriguez is quick.
Has he got chosen for the Brit? Oh, he won't count as a British talent because he's Spanish.
Sorry. Sorry, you got to it before me.
I got my apology in first.
Naturalised Brit.
Yes, that's how he feels.
No, he actually travels home between races as Victor.
Well, actually, we get kind of naturalised Brits in a sense, but we don't necessarily get the like Danny Sayers was very much part of our scene for the last couple of years, and he's vanished this year. These three then, Rodriguez, Strudwick, de Vleeschauwer, and then the second wave headed by Freitag, Cook, Orgis, Geiger, and then 8th place for Cameron Horseman ahead of Falk and Jack Scott in 10th. Earhart, incidentally, who's fighting for the Northern European Championship, is back down in 12th place.
Yeah, Strudwick back to the drum, number 2, but you have to say that Victor Rodriguez and his F Honda doesn't look as quick as the rest, to be honest. They're all, this standard class, the brilliant thing about this is they're all supposed to be identical. The same standard, yeah, I know. Yeah, told you, they're at each other. They're all identical, but I've got to say there looked a little bit of difference there between Strudwick's bike and Rodriguez's bike.
Well, they're run by different teams, James, so presumably, you know, could there be just little differences in the actual machine preparation that would make a difference?
Yeah, a little bit as far as gearing goes, but in actual fact, you're not allowed to tune these things, hence standard class. You know, and they're all supposed to be pretty much the same.
So Rodriguez then tussling with Tom Strudwick, and all the time, that man, and he just sits Strudwick up good and proper. So Luca de Vleeschauwer goes through on that splendid number 9 into second place. So second place now for Vleeschauwer ahead of Strudwick. Freitag, Cook and Orgis aren't out of this yet because they seem to be creeping back towards the front 3. And we're back to 6 riders contesting the lead here after some moves being pulled at the front, which were of a dodgy nature.
And that's exactly why, Jack. You know, they held each other up for a lap and a half, and the second group was back on them now.
This is what happened. Check this out.
Let's have a look. This is Vleeschauwer up the inside. Yeah, there was a little bit of contact.
Elbow to elbow.
Right enough, I think. Yeah, well, and actually Thomas Strudwick from that angle was just as much to blame. He kind of leaned on him. The pass was made already.
Oh, boys! That's side by side through that left-hand flick. That's brave stuff. And Lucas just about holding on Cadalora style. Max Cook in 5th place, the runaway championship leader in the UK.
I'll tell you what, the man is second there, number 9, Luca de Vleeschauwer. He is a brave lad. I've just seen he's lost the front there a couple of times and just clung on to it, no problem.
And as he tries to slipstream his way right, he's going way round the outside, taking a wide line. These lads have another race tomorrow, incidentally, tomorrow morning. They're the first
Some
race
of them
on track.
might not have the way they're going.
And Freitag set the fastest lap. He's running in 4th place. He's helped close the gap with Max Cook, number 30, tucked in behind him. Talking about standard Hondas,
yeah.
Have you seen the thing that Ron Haslam rides around on? A little kind of purple box with a Phillips screwdriver to switch it on and off, its ignition on and off.
Yeah, that's the one he had in Grand Prix on the back of his motorhome, and the reason...
It was given away in the boot, as a treat in the boot of a brand new Honda Prelude he bought in the 1980s.
And that's exactly what they were designed and made to do. The handlebars fall down.
Yes.
It's as near a little box as you can get. You could pick them up in your hand like a little suitcase and then fold the handlebars out.
He's still riding around the paddock on it. How entertaining, and very proud of it he is too. Brilliant. So on lap 6 of 8 then, these standard Hondas still swapping paint and positions. 6 riders running nose to tail. They've just dropped the NEC, ADAC Northern European Championship leader, Tom Geiger, off a bit here actually. Sorry, Dirk Geiger is back in 7th place, number 1. He's losing ground to this lot. Here comes Victor Rodriguez, just slipping back into the lead. That's one of his cleaner passes of the race.
Yeah, and I want to retract my earlier statement about saying Victor's back wasn't so quick. I think it was just a kind of a slipstream kind of thing that went on, because he managed to slipstream his way back to the front there. So I think you can see that they all are pretty equal, these bikes.
And after all the nonsense of earlier in the afternoon, perfect racing conditions in the cool of the evening here at Silverstone for these boys. On the 7th lap of 8 then, with Rodriguez edging out Luca de Vleeschauwer. Strudwick in 3rd. Freitag, and Cook trying to elbow his way through as well. And Max Cook does. Look at this. Has Max Cook timed this to perfection? Number 30, the runaway leader in the British Championship, the Motostar Standard Class Championship, now levers his way through to 3rd place.
You'd have to say that going off what's happened previous races this season in BSB, that's normal. This is where he should be.
But do you know, you're right, because their race tends to get buried in the GP class quite a bit, so we don't see that much of it as Max slips through into 2nd place. Well, but in fact, Max Cook quite often leaves it quite late in the race change to take the lead in that category.
Well, he's won 12 out of 15 races this year, so.
But often late on. He's
going now.
Yeah, he's gone just like that. And once again, it's Victor Rodriguez that's going to suffer the prospect of defeat. Oh, no, he's not that easily. He's not taking it lying down. He cuts back inside Cook. Cook moves back inside him. And number 19 edges across to try and unnerve Max Cook on the way down to the fast right-hander at Farm. But Cook in 2nd place. Rodriguez leading the way. This is proper stuff.
It is proper racing, proper small bike racing. This is why we love small bikes. Max Cook to the front again.
Yeah, just cuts neatly underneath. Whoops, a daisy. And that was number 4, Orgis, going into orbit. As we go now round A3 onto the Wellington Straight. We're on the penultimate lap of the Motostar Performance Standard Class, combined with the ADAC North European Cup. And number 30, Max Cook, surely can't hang on at the front. I was going to say leading the way down there, but he can cut back in front of number 2, Tom Strudwick. So it's a British Championship 1-2-3 at the moment against the might of the ADAC boys.
It's not over yet though, Jack.
No, not by a long chalk. As they come now onto a beautiful shot of them coming onto the start and finish straight through Woodcut, which must be absolutely flat stick for these boys.
Yeah.
Down towards Copse. Whoa, and Luca makes a late move into Copse corner, moves back to 2nd place. Max Cook decides to take a wide line to get on the inside as they head for the kink. I'm sure that's his plan, and yes, it's going to work. He slips back through to 2nd place. But the man ahead of him is Luca, and in fact that costs Max as Victor Rodriguez once again takes advantage with the right position on track. The actual position on track is so vital at different moments with these bikes, isn't it? When you've got this much width of tarmac to work with.
Well, when you're going onto a straight as well like that, it's vital. You don't want to be too close to the bike in front because you can't make any time then. You need to, a lot of thinking goes on, especially with the slipstream. So even on the straight, you're not relaxing, really.
And Max Cook got himself really on the wrong side then and lost 2 places coming down the hanger straight. So suddenly has a bit of work to do because there just wasn't any room to pipsqueak his way through. As we see Strudwick now challenging for the lead, but it's Luca Vleeschauwer who is the man in the lead. He got a little bit wide and deep, but he hung on to it. Heart-in-mouth stuff. Well, they don't seem to be concerning themselves overly with the damp patches. Everything seems to be working out pretty well at the moment, but look at these splashes from the tyres.
Yeah, and you really need to be worrying who's behind you, not just who's in front of you as well at this point, when you know you're in a group consisting of 6, 7, 8 riders.
Strudwick made a big move then, but he's left the door open on the inside. Here comes Rodriguez. Oh, and suddenly he's back to 4th place.
Yeah, well, 3rd into the lead for Victor Rodriguez. I'm not sure. Victor Rodriguez might have just gone a little bit early there because they got this long Wellington straight to go at now, long on these bikes anyway.
And he's going to defend.
Defend?
Oh, look at the boys winging every which way to try and find the hot line through. and it might be Luca de Vleeschauwer who's got it in front of Max Cook, and Cook's going to lose out on the inside if he's not careful going into the right-hander. He just clips across. No, he does lose out. Oh, and there's a collision that puts Max Cook almost off track. That's put Paytat cooked his goose good and proper as we watch number 9, Luca de Vleeschauwer of Belgium on the Toybens Honda Centre NSF takes victory. What a terrific race from Orgis. Somehow clawed his way into second place, Geiger third. So suddenly we had a 1-2-3 for the ADAC North European Championship boys.
All in half a lap, and Rodriguez, I said he'd got too early. You've got to be careful when you get to the front.
Oh, no, look, we've still got Freitag's in 7th place. Cameron Horseman, Worsley, oh, someone's gone way off track. Horseman, though, 8th, got that 8th place out of Koenig, Seibrath, Falk, Earhart, Dunnick, Buis, Jack Scott in 15th. Well, what a breathtaking race that
Brilliant
was.
Race.
And what a great, and there we are, reward for that riding that wonderful number 9. Can we have more number plates like that, please? Made our job a lot easier. Max Cook actually finished only 5th, and Thomas Strudwick in 6th place after being the frontman for so long.
It doesn't seem fair quite, that, does it?
But that was well judged by this lad.
Yeah. You can't always judge it. You know, there's a little bit of luck involved in that last lap tussle and all them sort of beating each other up last corner.
So de Vleeschauwer then is victorious. Belgium comes to Silverstone and wins. Well done, kid.